Welcome to the Saturday Sports Line. Since 1969, the premier sports show about local high school sports, featuring coaches, players, and special guests. Now, here is your host of the Saturday Sports Line, Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI Sports Director, Mitch Columbi, and sports analyst, Chris McGowan.
Grounder to Falls, and he'll throw to first to get the third out, and the Satellites will win this ball game 12-4, beating the Knox Redskins.
And good morning here on the Saturday Sports Line, the longest-running high school sports show in Indiana, thanks to our very own Harold Welter. 901 Eastern, 801 Central, wherever you are, good morning. This is your wake-up call. Good morning, my co-host, Chris McGowan.
Hey, how's it going? Hey, can you do me a favor and turn down my headphones a little bit?
Sorry, I couldn't hear very well. I'm going deaf.
And I'm the old one.
Yeah. Well, we're glad to see you. I guess it's raining outside. You had a golf match last night, I think, didn't you?
No, Thursday.
Oh, Thursday. How'd that go?
Oh, not very well.
I'm sorry.
We're at Sandy Pines. First match of the year at Sandy Pines. Two kids that have their very first time out in competitive golf match, and they scored where I thought they would score, but again, it's still
early,
and
that was the first meet of the season.
Our first meet of the season, and at Sandy Pines, one of the hardest courses. The IHSAA hosts the regional there. So
that was against West Central, wasn't it?
No, it was against DeMott Christian and Faith Christian.
Boy, I had my information all mixed up. I don't know what I was looking at, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we move on.
Yeah.
Well, we have an opportunity to talk with Winamac baseball head coach Mark Hendryx. We've got him on the line. Coach, how are you today? I hope you're doing better than us.
Oh, pretty good. Waiting to get on a bus and probably go watch it rain for 2 hours.
And then come home.
Yeah, probably.
So you were actually where's the game at?
OD.
Oh, nice.
Probably won't happen today. It's not looking good out there right now.
Well, they said we'll sit around and wait for a while, so I don't know. I'm just going where the bus takes me.
We'll take your sunflower seeds.
Oh, we always got those.
Well, let's catch us up, Coach. Last time we talked, you were getting ready to start the season, and we've seen some scores come in, Coach. I mean, you guys are playing very well. We saw that game. We saw the score against the Knox Redskins. You had that rescheduled game. You guys are getting runs across. How are things going other than that game?
Well, last night we didn't get any runs across. Went to Rensselaer and we got beat 11-1. We were ahead 1-0 going to the bottom of the four, but we just I had to save all my pitching for conference games today, and Caden Runk did a really good job. He got to about 85 pitches and kind of hit the wall. And then I brought in Carter Ulrich. He hadn't thrown yet. He struggled a little bit. And then I brought in a freshman, Peyton Burke, and he's going to be fine. It was just kind of throwing a freshman into the fire there, and we just couldn't help him out any. I think we out-hit him. We just couldn't get any hits when we needed them.
That's the way it goes. It's Murphy's Law for you right there. You're saving your pitching for conference, and then you get to conference day and it rain out.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the aggravating part.
I thought about rolling the dice last night, but you got to give the kids the best chance to compete for a conference. So had to do what I thought. If today gets rained out, then I'll kick myself in the behind a couple times. But, you're just kind of guessing at the weather right now.
You started the season off beating Argus, then Knox, then Argus again. So 3 strong wins in a row, and then you see Rensselaer Central like you talked about last night. That was last night, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So then now you're kind of waiting on Oregon Davis to see if you can get that doubleheader in due to the weather. We'll see. But other than that, I mean, from what you've seen this early on in the season, are you happy, or what do you think you got to work on?
Oh, yeah, I'm happy. We're hitting the ball pretty well. We had 7 or 8 hits last night. I think we've been averaging about 11 or 12 a game, so we're putting the ball in play. defensively, we're doing about what I thought. You know, you're always going to make some errors, but they're doing okay. The pitching, like Cody Wheeler and Hutch Martin, their first two outings, you know, they're my 1 and 2. They did really well, and just got to get these guys some innings. You know, I think once everybody throws in a varsity game and sees what it's like, then they'll come back to about what I expect. So I'm pretty happy right now. You know, especially with the screwed up week. Didn't get a practice Monday or Tuesday because we were sitting there with Culver watching it rain. And then Wednesday just was not a good day for me. We didn't have practice. And then Thursday we had rain, so we were in the parking lot. It's been a screwed up week. Hopefully we can kind of get back to normal this week.
So how'd you practice in the parking lot? Are you taking notes from Shane Lowry at Culver?
No, we do that a lot when the field's too wet. You know, we got a giant parking lot. We can lay it all out. The outfield was fine, so they were out in the outfield, and you know, our cage is turf, so we were able to use that. It's kind of a normal day. Just you can't do situations or anything, so just trying to keep kids in rhythm and just do what we can. You know, the weather is it's causing havoc for everybody.
You talked about Hutch Martin being a guy that you needed to have, or that you knew was going to be one of the leaders on this team, and he's leading the batting average right now with 750 at the plate. Right, really the top three. Carter Ulrich is 750. Xavier Adriano is 750 at the plate. So you guys are getting the bats going, Coach.
We are. We're hitting the ball, and even the guys that don't have a good average, we haven't been striking out a lot. You know, just last night we had guys on. We just couldn't get the hit when we needed it. But overall, I'm pretty happy, especially with our lack of being outside and being on the field. You know, baseball's all about situations and everything. We haven't got to do that for 5 days now, and you walk through stuff, you talk through stuff, but it's just not the same as going out and doing it. So hopefully Mother Nature gives us a little break here in the next couple weeks, and we can get back to playing baseball.
We saw the Knox Redskins take on the South Central Satellites, and something that was working for them really well, and our sports analyst Kevin Hannon was talking about that they did a really good job of once they got on base, they were using small ball to get their guys around in scoring position and that kind of put the pressure on the Redskins defense to kind of have to step up, and some errors happened out of that, and they were able to cross some runs. So talk about getting the small ball going. I know a lot of coaches have talked about that's very important.
Yeah, we worked on it this winter. We worked on it all spring. You know, obviously the first 3 games we didn't have to do it. And last night, everything's got to be, you got to have the right guy up, the right guy on base, the right situation. I thought about it a couple times. Will Malco laid down a perfect bunt. I told him if he could bunt like that every time, he'd hit 850. He's so fast. You're not going to get him out if he gets it right where he wants it. And our other guys are bunting really well. It's just one of those things. We were hitting really good. You don't want to take the big stick away when they're swinging well. So, yeah, we might get back to some of that today and even next week. But we've worked on it a lot. We're ready to bust it out. We just haven't done it yet.
Any of the up-and-comers you're happy about right now that are getting some varsity play and have shown you that there's some growth?
Yeah, I've been starting 2 freshmen pretty regular. Bryant Galbraith is my starting shortstop. He's a freshman. He's doing really well. You know, he's got a lot to learn. Every game he learns something new. And Peyton Burke, he's another freshman. He starts at DH for me. He's really pressing a couple guys to take their spot. So I'm really happy with the freshman class. We've got 3 or 4 guys in there that are really close to playing. And that makes practice better because those older guys know, hey, we got young guys coming. They want to play. They're working hard. So it makes practice a lot better.
Well, let's look past today. If today's games don't get in, you'll see it's a busy week like you were kind of talking about. Here in about 3 days, you'll take on Rochester, hosting them. Then you'll host North Miami on Thursday. Friday, Yeah, North Miami again. So you're hosting North Miami on Thursday, then you travel to North Miami on Friday, and then you got the Judson game, which will be at one of them. So, I mean, there's a lot of games here coming up. You've got to be ready to go.
A lot of big games. This is a big week. You got Rochester, North Miami, and then you follow it with Judson. And, if we can't get focused in the next 2 or 3 days, then we're going to be in a lot of trouble. We're playing some good teams. I'm not too worried about it, actually. We'll be all right. The one thing about this group, they're pretty tight. Last year we were good. We just had some groups of guys. This year, I think they're all kind of together. It makes things a lot easier. Rochester obviously is one of the best teams on our schedule. North Miami won the conference last year, and then I get to go give Alvin a kiss next week, and that's always exciting.
I love when those two teams meet in any sport. That's always a good rivalry.
Yeah.
Well, I think what makes it even what makes it even better is the fact that how well the coaches know each other. I think that's what makes it special.
It does. I mean, got to know Alvin really well. Our kids played travel ball together, and I got to really know him. And God, I hate to say it in public, but I really like him. And he's just, I consider him a good friend. I love playing those two games.
Yeah, they're taking on Caston today, and you'll see them right around the corner. And he was kind of telling me that, Caston's one of those teams in the conference that always seems to have things going at times.
Yeah, Caston is really well coached. Blake does a great job over there. They're always competitive. You're never just going to go smack Caston. It's not going to happen. You got to play really well to beat them. They won't beat themselves, and that's kind of the way our whole conference is. The top 6 or 7 teams are. You got to go beat them. They're not going to do anything to beat themselves. So I just like this conference. It's very competitive.
Well, yeah, and plus that every conference coach, their goal is to win conference, so you're going to see their top 2 pitchers night in, night out.
Exactly, and that's kind of what happened last night. And that's okay. We know going in, we're saving our 1 and 2 for conference games, and my other guys will be okay. Like I said, just get them some innings, and conference really. I know everybody's played some conference games, but in my mind, the conference really kicks into gear this week.
All right, Coach. So I have a question for you. You get over to Oregon Davis this morning, and it's raining, and you guys are sitting on the bus. What's the game plan? Well, how are you gonna pass the time?
Well, I was talking to Coach Allred on the way home last night. They play some games I don't even understand. They're on their phones. They're happy. They're 16, 17, 18-year-old boys. If they've got their phone and they're on a bus, they can entertain themselves for 3 hours. It's unbelievable. But
okay, so what are you going to do?
Well, that's a great question. I don't know. Probably walk around and shake my head. It's tough. All 4 of us are sitting here thinking the same thing. We might be sitting a while, and man, that's just rough.
Yeah, thinking about I could be at home doing that honeydew list.
Yeah, the honeydew list, and I can hear my grass growing from here. All this rain we've got. Hey, put all that aside. Try and keep them focused on the game. That won't be easy if we're sitting a while, but hopefully when we're warming up, we get them dialed in. We'll be ready to go.
Well, Coach, try to stay dry today, and hopefully you guys get that doubleheader in against the Bobcats, and good luck against Rochester and North Miami, and we'll see you on the 28th in Winamac.
All right, sounds great. Thank you, guys.
Hey, thanks for your time, Coach. That is head coach of the Winamac Warriors Baseball Club, Mark Hendryx, here on the Saturday Sports Line. We're going to take a break, come back. We're going to stay with Winamac and talk softball with head coach Jenni Belcher. 400 career wins for Coach Belcher. We're going to talk about it. They're also playing very good ball right now. We'll talk with Brooke Rausch in the next hour, as she was our athlete of the week as well. So Winamac, more sports up next.
2. He's rounding all the way to 3, and he will get in. He got the steal sign, and since the ball got past the catcher from Satellites, he's in scoring position 90 feet away.
The Stark County Co-op has been a member-owned farm services co-op in Stark County since 1928. That's over 90 years, and they're still providing the same quality agronomy services to the farming community of Stark and surrounding counties. The Stark County Co-op is an LP and fuel provider. The Stark County Co-op purchases grain at both locations, Hamlet and Brems. You can reach them by phone at 1-800-782-3392.
Stay tuned for more sports talk with Mitch Columbi and Chris McGowan on the longest-running high school sports show in Indiana, the Saturday Sports Line.
Pulaski Memorial Hospital. Quality care closer to home. Pulaski Memorial Hospital is all about community and keeping our community spotlight shining on the accomplishments of our youth. That's why PMH is proud to be a sponsor of our local high school sports action on WKVI, our community radio station. Pulaski Memorial Hospital. Quality care closer to home.
It's hard to believe, but time sure does fly by. Collins Insurance Agency in downtown Knox are celebrating over 30 years of taking care of all of your insurance needs in our communities.
If I could turn back time.
And we're not going anywhere.
Stop in and see Jim and the crew at Collins Insurance Agency in downtown Knox.
Insurance you can count on from a business you've trusted since 1989.
Proud presidential partners of Western Reserve.
Let's continue the conversation with area high school coaches and more on the Saturday Sports Line.
He deals. Swung on, popped up high.
That should be enough to get the run home. Fort's a pretty good athlete.
He'll tag up and bring the first run across for a sac fly by Xavier Boyd. So the Redskins take the lead early here, 1-0.
And we welcome you back to the Saturday Sports Line as we transition to softball at Winamac Community High School. And we have in the house head coach Jenni Belcher. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning. How you guys doing today?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
We're doing good. It's a little dreary outside.
It is.
A little sad. It feels sad outside.
One of those days you just want to go home, crawl back in bed, and just sleep all day. Take a nap.
It looks sad out there. I woke up this morning and looked out the window and said, "Oh, I'm really glad we're not playing today."
I know. That's what Mark Hendryx probably was thinking.
He didn't sound too happy about it.
Right. Well, to be on a bus for a couple hours if you're not going to be able to play. If there was a window where it could open up, but I think it's just going to be off and on all day. So, yeah, he's probably going to be sitting for a while. And, yeah, it's just a waste of a day, really. I hate to say it. Sorry, Coach, if you're listening.
It's just not fun. It's not a whole lot of fun to sit on a bus and then find out you're not playing. And we did that twice already this week, so I'm glad we're not doing it today.
Well, what's not sad is the fact that let's go ahead and talk about the elephant in the room. Win number 400. It's a heck of an accomplishment for your career. So let's talk about that. How does that make you feel?
Honestly, I feel really humble. I'm humbled by it. We just go out there and play ball. To me, I just I've been fortunate enough to have good players, kids who work hard. I have great assistant coaches, and so it makes my job easy. Especially the first one. When you have kids who love the game of softball and they want to be good at it and they want to work at it, then it as far as the wins go, it just takes care of itself. I wish we could win them all. Obviously, we can't, but those things all on our side, it makes my job easy for sure.
So let's elaborate here just a little bit. I want to talk about your coaching career and the thing that I want to know. Over the years, every coach has no matter what you're coaching, every coach has their system, their style. Okay. However, when you coach at a small school, you don't always have the pieces that fit that style that you want to to try to be successful with. So over your career, how many times have you had to kind of like draw back and say, okay, this is what I like to do, but we're not really good at that. And you've had to really kind of change your approach to how you do things.
I think that really probably is true about offense.
Yeah.
Offensively, sometimes we have, a lot of power in our lineup. Sometimes we have a lot of speed. I've been blessed over the years to often have a lefty slapper bunter that is fantastic in the leadoff spot, and that really helps. I love that if we can get that leadoff batter that can do those things for us. But on the flip side of it, defensively and pitching wise, those have to be there all the time.
They have to be there all the time.
All the time. And obviously, sometimes we have better years of defense or pitching than others. But anybody who knows the game of softball, you got to have good pitching.
Right.
If you want to compete, you have to have good pitching. So to kind of identify kids when they're young, that's really all that we try to do in our system. We have a good summer program. We put on clinics for the younger kids. Our high school kids do that throughout the winter. So we see those younger kids, and if we have kids who are interested in pitching, we try to start them early. And so hopefully we have some solid pitching every year, and we try to couple that with good defense. And then offensively, we'll see what we can do. Are we gonna hit for power this year? Are we gonna do the short game? So just some adjustments that way.
Small ball.
And I think what it is when I'm setting up for basketball games and I hear the bats swinging in the gym, and I think that's a lot of what the coaches they don't get noticed for is the work that's put in the off season. I'm not just saying you're the only one. I'm just saying that when coaches are putting in their own time in the off season, I think that speaks volumes for the dedication in what you do, because you care. You actually care about helping these young children or the young people grow and also coach a sport that you love.
Well, and high school sports have developed to where you have to do more outside of your contest season if you want to be successful.
Right.
You guys know that. And luckily we have kids who have bought into that. When they're playing their other sport, like in the wintertime when the basketball players are playing, I don't want to bother them. They're in the middle of their season, but they also know that once they're done, then come join us because your teammates have been working out since January. And it really works well, and we've been fortunate in that aspect of we have kids who want to be there. We have kids who want to be there in January when we start up hard. So that's been really good for us too.
Well, congratulations, Coach. But I did want to talk about this season. It's an amazing start to the season. I mean, the runs are just – you were scoring at will. I know last night didn't go your way. That was the first loss of the season. We'll talk about that in a minute. But, I mean, I just want the listeners to hear this. Carroll won 14-2. Argus 14-0. Morgan Township 10-0. South Central, you beat them both times, which you kind of talked in the break that's a rare occurrence that they've had your number the last several years for a while now. You beat them in game 1 8-1, then game 2 15-5. You beat Lewis Cass 9-1. So you guys they're scoring a lot of runs, Chris.
Yeah, you're on a roll.
So talk about that. I mean, not only is Brooke Rausch, I know she's our athlete of the week, she's doing a great job in the circle defensively, but she even talked about, to have that in your back pocket to know that when they get up to bat, we're going to score some runs. Right.
Yeah, we've been a solid offensive team this year. It's even been a little surprising to me. I knew that we would be strong coming back defensively and pitching wise, but you never really know. I mean, if we want to be honest, when you're hitting inside and you're doing some of those things, there's nothing that you can really recreate that is like hitting live pitching in a game. Right. The only thing you can do is have them hit live pitching in a game, I believe. So you never really know for sure until you get to the games. And the kids have been doing so well. They've been disciplined at the plate. I would say that's been our number one strength at the plate is that we are not swinging it much outside of the zone. And we continue to tell them, we continue to talk about wait for your good pitch, and when you see it, hit it. Don't let it go by. And they've done a really good job of finding that pitch and putting it in play.
Well, having that discipline is huge because eventually the pitcher's got to come to you.
Right.
And when you get that pitch, like you said, don't miss it.
Right.
And your girls aren't missing it right now. So that's huge. And that makes your life, when you're putting the ball in play and you're putting pressure on the defense, that makes your life as a coach a lot easier. It's like equating it to the game of basketball. When shots are falling, the game's easy.
That's right. Exactly.
Well, last night, tough loss to Delphi. I remember last year you telling us that Delphi usually seems to have a good team that they present on the softball diamond, but you were right there with them. 3-2 was the final. So talk about last night and what you saw.
You're right. In Delphi being a tough opponent, we always know that they're going to put a quality team on the field. And they got out to an early lead, and then we were able to score a run. I think Maggie Keller drove in our first run, and it was 3-1. And I have to say, one of the things that we are confident in is that we have two pitchers, and we can call on Brooke or Adriana Hall anytime. And we did that last night. Delphi was able to score a 3 on Brooke. So we just thought, hey, let's switch this up. And before we did that, Brooke held them scoreless in the 4th. And then Adri came in and shut them down. They didn't score anything in the 5th, 6th, or 7th, which gives our offense an opportunity. And that's the thing that we try to make sure that they know. Listen, if you stick with this, we're going to get our chances late in the game. And Trinity Harlan hit a home run in the 6th, so now it's 3-2. If there was any hesitation from our team, that jacked them up. They were ready to go. And in the 7th inning, we just said, hey, give us a base runner. And we were able to get 3. We loaded the bases.
Oh, no.
Just couldn't get that run across. So, and I have to mention as well, we weren't able to get that tying run, but our defense made some outstanding plays in the game. Delphi put the pressure on us several times, and our defense came through. We had opportunities and followed through with execution to cut runners out at the plate. We got a double play where we shut someone down at the plate, threw them out at home, and then snap throw to third, got an out at third, which totally took them out, of their biggest threat probably of the game. And so, all in all, it was a good game, and we really like to see those kind of games. I would rather lose a game like that 3-2 against a quality opponent where our kids learn and
right.
they're in those situations where everything matters. You do one thing and it could change the outcome of the game.
Exactly.
So so that was real valuable for us, even though we came out on the losing end of it.
It almost makes you and the girls think, yeah, we let that one get away because we were right there. We could have tied this thing up, had an opportunity to win it with the go-ahead run on second.
Right. That's right. So
it kind of sits with you a little bit. That may make you a little hungry.
Yeah, exactly. Coach Smith talked about that after the game when we huddled up. For people who know Steph Smith, she is one of the most competitive people that I've ever met. And she told him, she's like, I want to win every game. There's no doubt about that. But she said, maybe it wasn't a terrible thing to lose this one.
Right.
They're not a conference team. They're not in our sectional, and maybe it will just make us hungry. So we'll see how we respond because, we're going right into the conference, the meat of the conference now, and turn around and play a conference game on Monday.
Maggie Keller leads the team in batting average with a 652. You mentioned Trinity Harlan, a sophomore. She's second with a 471, and then Brooke Rausch, the senior, a 435. Also, I noticed Grace Ross. She's getting on base as the sophomore, third in the lead, in third with a 519 on base percentage. So, you guys got some good players. Brooke Rausch kind of talked about several of them. We'll hear in the second hour, but a lot of these players, sophomores, juniors, you're getting some young talent in here that's providing.
Yeah, we have some young kids who can contribute, but this team is really led by our upperclassmen, whether it's numbers wise or not. The leadership is coming from our 5 seniors and our 2 juniors. When you think about that and you say, okay, you got to put 9 kids on the field,
right,
and 7 of our 9 are upperclassmen, 7 of our 9 starters. That's one of the things that our seniors know. I hope they know by now. you don't have to be the top kid on the team numbers wise to contribute and to make a difference. And we've tried to talk with them. I've tried to talk with them about how do you influence your teammates? You know, what are you doing to help your teammates? It's not all about you. This is a team sport, and let's see what we can do together.
So have you been able to, you talked 7 of your 9 starters are juniors and seniors in the blowout wins that you've had, the 14-0s and all that. Have you been able to get some of the younger kids in to give them the experience of playing in a varsity softball game?
We have some.
Right.
It's not as much as I would like, and a lot of that.
I don't want to put you on the spot.
Oh, it's all good.
Right.
No. A lot of it's dictated by the game.
Right.
You know, if you get the lead early, that makes a big difference.
It does.
If you get the lead late, you know, and all of a sudden you bust it open in the 4th inning and score a lot of runs, the next thing you know, you're up by 10 and the game's over.
Game's over.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it depends on the game. We definitely, you know, try to get them some experience, some game time experience, and get them some at bats or get them on the field when we can, for sure.
How's it been? You have a JV squad?
We don't.
You do not? Okay.
No, numbers wise, we don't have enough for a JV this year.
Okay, I was going to say, I was wondering how the numbers with the numbers in every sport across the board, just scheduling JV games, but okay.
Rivalry week. This is rivalry week. This is crazy. You're at Pioneer on Monday, conference opponent. But even though the next 2 games on Thursday at West Central and then in Knox on Friday, while those are non-conference opponents, those are rivalry games, Coach.
You're right. I think you named one of them, didn't you, Mitch? The War on 35.
The War on 35.
Yeah, that's Friday.
That's Friday, and then you've got the cross-county battle with West Central,
right.
And then Monday, I mean, Pioneer Winamac. That's always a rivalry game.
Of course, yeah.
2 War on 35s this week. The War on 35 North and the War on 35 South.
That's right.
That is crazy.
Yeah. You know, as far as Pioneer goes, for so many years, Pioneer, they were the ones to beat in the conference. If you wanted to win the conference, you had to beat Pioneer in softball. You know, and then it wasn't long ago, they had Haley Kripe and Haley Gottschall that took them to a state championship.
Right.
You know, so yes, anytime that we have an opportunity against Pioneer, we want to make the most of it for sure. So that's Monday. You know, then you mentioned Thursday at West Central. Playing West Central in softball is a big rivalry. You know, it always has been. To me, I think Winamac West Central is like Knox North Judson.
Exactly.
It just is what it is. It's a game that you always want to win. It doesn't matter what sport. It doesn't matter what the records are. You know, Winamac and West Central are going to battle it out. And then Knox, you know, Richie's done such a good job with Knox softball, and yeah, it's become a rivalry for us as well. You know, it's just up the road, and we'll check them out on Friday. So.
They had a big win last night, 3-1 over Bremen.
Okay.
So
they're playing good too.
They're playing good too.
Well, we'll see you Thursday in Francisville and then on Friday in Knox. So we're very excited about the 2 rivalry games we will see. But Monday, Pioneer, that's where your sights are set, I'm sure.
Right.
Okay, so on the record, do you like having these 3 rivalry games in the same week, or would you like to see it spread out?
Oh, that's a good question.
Depends on what. If we're playing well, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. There's a lot of truth to that because I'll be honest with you, you know, we played so well against South Central on Saturday.
Right.
That the last thing that I wanted to see this week that we just had was all this rain. You know, I wanted to play.
Momentum.
Keep them playing. And then, you know, Monday and Tuesday both got rained out. So, yeah, you're right. If things are going well, hey, let's roll.
Right.
Let's keep it going.
Always appreciate you coming in, Coach. And, hey, good luck this coming week. We look forward to seeing you on Thursday and Friday. Hopefully it's a big win against Pioneer to start things off on Monday.
Thanks. I appreciate it. Thank you for covering our sports and all the sports teams here in our area.
And again, congrats on 400.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That is head coach of the Winamac Lady Warriors Softball Club, Jenni Belcher, here on the Saturday Sports Line. We're going to take a break, come back. We're going to go to the other side of the county and talk with head coach Mike Bishop at the Trojans as we prepare for that cross-county battle. Nobody misses in Pulaski County. We'll get him on the line. Don't go anywhere. More sports talk on the way.
At least that's what people say.
Chopper right back to him. They're going to try to turn the double play to Tay Falls right to first, and he will.
I'm lighting on my feet, and that's what they don't see. That's what they don't see.
There's a trend happening around the educational world. More and more high school graduates are attending smaller community colleges to start their educational journey. At Marian University's Ancilla College, we welcome students from all walks of life. The opportunities at Marian University are endless, from living on campus to being a collegiate student athlete. From day one, your professors will help you create a plan for a success at Marian and beyond. Find out more about Marian University's Ancilla College through our website at marian.edu/Ancilla today.
Stay tuned for more sports talk with Mitch Columbi and Chris McGowan on the longest-running high school sports show in Indiana, the Saturday Sports Line.
Frayne Mortuary in Winamac is family-owned and operated with 3 locations serving Pulaski County and the surrounding communities. Frayne Mortuary has provided our community with caring and compassionate service for loved ones. Our licensed staff is available to assist you with pre-need funeral planning and at-need funeral planning. We provide traditional burial and cremation services. We offer a full line of headstones and monuments at Frayne Mortuary in Winamac. It's our family serving your family.
Coke Zero is now Coke Zero Sugar, with great Coke taste. Some people were excited to hear the news. Some were skeptical. So we're not going to have the star of the show you're watching come out and say, "You'll love it." No special jingle written by this week's hottest pop star. No famous internet celebs who happen to be holding the label just so. Okay, maybe just one little pour shot. The only thing that will make you believe Coke Zero Sugar has great Coke taste is trying it yourself. Ice cold Coke Zero Sugar. Try one today.
You're listening to Mitch Columbi and Chris McGowan on Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI.
There goes Falls to take 3. Swung on, pop back up. It's a duck snort to center. And bringing home Tay Falls is Fisher Trotsky for an RBI single.
And we welcome you back to the Saturday Sports Line as we now have an opportunity to hear from the other side of the county in Pulaski. It's head coach of the West Central Lady Trojans, Mike Bishop. We've got him on the line. Coach, good morning.
Good morning. How are you guys?
We're hanging in there, Coach.
Hey, before we get into this interview, you used the term duck snort. I love it.
I did. I
think the first time you heard that was something I said it once. And you're like,
well, it was Nathan Orger.
Orger, okay.
And then you said it like a couple weeks later.
And you're like, what is it? And you asked, what's a duck snort?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm getting better.
You're getting better. I like it.
Year 4.
I love it.
Coach Hannon's really helping me a lot because he's giving me in the moment corrections when I say something. He's like, well, actually, that was an E6, which I'm finding out that's an error by the shortstop.
Right.
So I'm figuring things out. Well, Coach, good morning. We're preparing for our game against the Winamac Warriors. We'll see you this coming Thursday, but catch us up since we last talked. What all have you seen?
Well, we've been out there. We've seen we've seen Delphi. Delphi. Our JV played Delphi. We played DeMont Christian. Just getting out there trying to get some reps, and it seems like every time we turn around we get buckets of rain, so it's kind of making it tough to play these days.
Yeah, it was a tough loss against Rossville. Talk about what Rossville provided. You were still able to get 9 runs across. They just had 11.
Well, when we showed up there, team looked very well prepared. Their team warm-ups looked good. We kind of felt a little bit rushed traveling down there south of Lafayette area, so a little bit of a haul for us. We got started offensively pretty well. Defensively, made some mistakes in the field, but our girls never gave up. They just kind of kept battling. I think we scored 5 runs there in the 7th inning to kind of make it a little bit of a game. Just kind of need a couple more things to go our way. My girls are starting to learn the phrase that we're not playing softball right now. It looks like we're playing soccer when we want to try and make 3 extra throws to make a play that we're probably not going to make.
You were able to beat Caston by 1 run, 7-6. Then you beat North White 16-4. Tough loss to South Central. They must have been upset after falling to your rival of Winamac, and they took it to you 7-1. So talk about those 3 matchups.
We'll go to the North White game, conference game. Came out, played our game, hit the ball well, aggressive on the bases as well. The Casting game, essentially kind of the same thing. We kind of went back and forth. We kind of went back and forth with them. But as far as the South Central game, defensively, they looked really solid. They could hit the ball well. We didn't take advantage of a couple opportunities to get some runs across, just maybe a little bit with some inexperience in base running. We did have an opportunity to kind of talk about that at one of our practices and just kind of throw it out there. When the ball's hit the left center, we need to be halfway, 3/4 of the way to second base. You can't be standing on first when the ball's in the ground. Yeah. It's hard to get in the scoring position that way.
You'll see Rensselaer Central here in 3 days before the big cross-county battle. What do you know about Rensselaer Central? Anything you can share with us?
I don't know a lot about them. Typically, they're pretty good. I do know they have decent pitching most of the time. They're new coach this year, so I'm expecting each time we play against them, we usually have a pretty good game. It's kind of back and forth a little bit there, so I expect they'll give us a pretty good game.
All right, let's go back to the rivalry game on Thursday. Let's talk about what do you need to do to be successful against your cross-county rival?
Well, obviously, I know they're off to a good start. Have some, Coach Belcher being there for as long as she has, and I know Coach Steph Smith pretty well. They're put together well. I know pitching's looking really good for them. I think if we trust ourselves and we go out there and play our game, I think we can definitely be in that game and compete to win for sure.
Where are you headed, Coach?
I'm actually driving through Detroit right now.
That's right. I forgot you told me that. So how are things up in Detroit?
I love Indiana, I'll tell you that much. We came out of this facility last night and we got passed by 3 cars probably running over 100 mile an hour on the interstate, and it's like if I would have moved lanes I would have died, I think. So I definitely love my country driving, that's for sure.
Well, stay safe, Coach.
Yeah, stay safe, Coach. We'll cut this short so you can focus on the road. I appreciate you hopping on here, and I look forward to seeing you on Thursday.
Sounds great. Thanks for having me, guys.
Hey, take care, Coach. That is head coach of the West Central Lady Trojan Softball Club, Mike Bishop, here on the Saturday Sports Line. Well, we're all set. Cross-county battle between the Winamac Lady Warriors and the West Central Lady Trojans this coming Thursday on WKVI. Live at 4:30 Eastern. First pitch at 5. Taking a break, coming back, we're going to switch to baseball. Knox Redskin baseball with head coach Dustin Waters up next.
I wasn't in a hurry, so I slowed down. Took a 2-lane road to a 1-horse town. There was a party going on. When I got there, I heard a welcome speech from a small town man.
Rip back to left field, and it stays fair. Perfect placement. And Boyd will get all the way to 3.
Big relay coming up here. Okay, he stopped him late. Good call by Coach Waters there. Second and third with 2 outs.
When the band started playing Watermelon Queens, it let me show you something.
LAP Waste can offer services for trash removal, large or small. Here's Kirby Anderson.
We do offer front load service in 2, 4, 6, and 8 yard dumpsters for front loads, and we also do a lot of roll off in 12s, 15s, 20s, 30s, 40s, and we even got quite a few packers at job sites that are permanent places to where they need to dispose of a lot of trash.
Here's Honey Lamer.
Just give us a call at 574-542-4019 and we'll get you all set up.
Stay tuned for more sports talk with Mitch Columbi on Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI.
Awesome customer service, a great price with no hidden fees, and our internet hasn't had any issues at all. We should have switched sooner.
That's what Anthony told us after he switched to Surf Internet. If you're ready for fiber-fast internet without the hassle, it's time to make the easy switch. Plans start as low as $30 a month with AutoPay, plus free installation and no contracts. Visit surfinternet.com today. Restrictions apply. Not all speeds available in all areas.
Listen for more insight in local high school sports on the Saturday Sports Line. Here's your sports director, Mitch Columbi.
And we welcome you back to the Saturday Sports Line as we now transition to talk Knox Redskin baseball with head coach Dustin Waters. I've got him on the line. Coach, good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, it's great to have you. We saw you against the Oregon Davis Bobcats. Big win there. Tough loss to South Central. But through the first 5 games, the last time we talked, you were kind of telling us the goals for this season. What's something that you've seen from the Redskins you're happy about?
We went out in our first game against Couts. You know, that's a team that beat us 17-0, I think, last year, and they're a really, really good baseball team. You know, after 3 innings, we're 3-3 with them. And we made all the plays we needed to make to be in that position. And, you know, that's one of those games you just kind of want to see what you got. Can you compete? Can you go play high-level baseball? And we showed it in the first game, you know, and that was exciting. I know the outcome wasn't quite – the scoreboard didn't say that it was a good win or a good game, but from a coach's standpoint, you know, when you feel like maybe you're outgunned just by a better team and you compete with them for half the game, you kind of walk away and go, okay, we're going to be all right here. You know, if we keep playing like this, we're going to have a pretty good season. Then we go up to Washington Township. That's a team that Knox hadn't beaten in 7 years. And, you know, the 2 times I'd coached that game, you know, they were close games, but they kind of got away from us. We went up there and we beat them 8-0. And again, pitched a good game, played good defense. I think we only had 1 error that day. And had a really good feeling coming out of that game that, okay, we're on the right track. Then we went to Winamac and laid a big fat egg. You know, all the guys just seemed to have a rough day. You know, and I don't put too much stock in that game because I've never been a part of a team or coached a team where everybody just has a bad day all at once. But we did. You know, and I don't think that's not indicative of the baseball team that we are or we can be. You know, it happened. We've got to get past it and start playing better baseball from there. Then we go play Oregon Davis. You know, they got Brady Danford. He can pitch. You know, he pitched the game against us. You know, we get out of there 12-2, got some guys in some positions that they normally wouldn't play. You know, got to see some lineup moves and stuff like that. So, you know, so that was good. And then we've got South Central. That's a team that we beat by 1 run last year. We just made too many mistakes in that game. You know, offensively, we had runners in scoring position every inning, just kind of missing that big 1-out double to score 2. You know, and keep pressure on. Instead, we'd get a sac fly with 1 out, get 1 run across, and then, you know, we'd get a ground ball they make a play on, or we hit a fly ball that they make a play on, and we're out of the inning again. You know, that game was closer than the score would indicate. Mm-hmm. You know, towards the end, we were looking forward to the John Glenn series to open our conference. You know, so we made some pitching changes that we normally wouldn't make.
Right.
And, you know, and that's part of having our conference schedule on Thursday, Friday is those Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday games. There's a lot of strategy that goes into making sure that you go win your conference schedule versus, you know, winning a non-conference game or keeping a non-conference game close. Because I think I think the South Central score was 6-4, maybe after 4
yes.
or 5, something like that. And it was a ball game. They put up a few runs on some errors in the top of the 5th, I think. They kind of stretched the lead a little bit, and, we're in the dugout trying to figure out, what do we do here? Do we burn our pitching to try and stay in this one, or do we have to go win conference? So we made a decision to give some freshmen some time on the mound. Let's see what they've got, in a game that I don't want to say doesn't matter because we're trying to win all of them, but it's also a game where it's not the goal. Our goal is conference. So if we're going to stick to our goals, then, we've got to make decisions to be able to compete in our conference play.
Yeah, and that's something Coach Hannon was kind of talking about, because he said, South Central started with the small ball, kind of making the defense for you guys work a little harder, and you're exactly right. Those errors kind of caused issues to where you guys had to make decisions, and that's exactly what Hannon said. He said in the broadcast, now it comes to the point, how long do you want to stay with Xavier Boyd on the mound, because you got John Glenn around the corner.
Yep, and that's, we're still a 2A school. Right. And I know South Central's a 1A school.
But it's a good program.
We're not, right, but we're not stacked with, a bullpen of 10 guys. Like, we've got guys that can pitch. They're not all pitchers, if that makes any sense. Mm-hmm. But, so you really have to kind of dig in and say, what are we going to chase here? And our goal has always been conference. And, you make decisions in game to say, okay, we're going to maybe try to battle our way back here. And if we can get it close, we'll go back to one of our everyday starters. And if we don't, then I don't want to say okay with that outcome, but we still have our goal ahead of us. So it's tricky. But the message to the guys is, you're at a point in your season now where we're sitting 2-3. We've got a long week ahead of us, starting with Judson on Monday, Judson on Tuesday, conference games Thursday, Friday, doubleheader Saturday, and then we roll right back into games the following week. This is going to be a long week, and this can be the turning point of our season in terms of getting us back on the right track, but it also takes focus. And I know it's hard this time of year. Baseball's at the end of the year, and we've got seniors and we've got guys that are looking towards, what are we going to do this summer? But the challenge to the players is, when you get on the bus or you walk out to the field, when you cross the gate and you get on the field, it is go time. Mm-hmm. And that's the message we've sent, that, we can't just show up. Right. We've got to show up and play. And if you look at who we've faced over the 5 games, we faced the number 2 or 3 from Couts. He's probably a number 1 at most schools, right? And then every game after that, we faced a 1 or a 2. Last year, I don't know that we faced those guys. And that's part of, when you win, you're going to start seeing 1s and 2s. Guys want to beat you. Which is good, because I think that, our non-conference schedule, if we're going to face 1s and 2s, that gets us ready for 1s and 2s in our conference. But we have to make sure that we're not falling into that, well, we beat this team last year, we'll beat them again this year type of mentality. You still have to go beat them. They're not just going to let you beat them.
And it was probably good that they tested you guys this early on in the season, especially like we talked South Central with the small ball, getting the defense kind of warmed up for the season as a whole. But then I also wanted to go back to Oregon Davis. We thought Donovan Wittes, he was our Ashley Derrickson 5-star player of the game. Boy, did he have a come-out performance there against OD.
Yeah, and I don't know if I'd say that that's like a breakout performance. Going into that game, Donovan was still hitting 500, and I think he was 0 for 3 against Winamac, and he's still hitting 500, and then he goes 2 for 2 in that game. He does well against South Central. He's a baseball kid, understands the game. He's playing really well right now. We've got some guys that are a little below where they were last year, and that's as you go through the season, you expect those guys to kind of get back up to the level they were last year. And if they can do that, we're going to be a potent offense with a pretty decent defense behind us. A little bit of a slow start for some guys, which can be expected. You've been inside for 2-3 weeks, and then all of a sudden it's game time and you've hit on the field 4 times because of the weather or whatever. I think we're gonna fall into our groove here and kind of get going. It's just we got to get everybody healthy and going all at once, and we'll be fine.
Last year, you were able to beat the Jays, your cross-county rival, both times. Talk about coming in Monday against the Jays, what you know about them in general, if anything at all, but what you want to see against a rival.
I mean, it's the rivalry, right? There's a reason why, we have the rules on our team that you don't wear blue at practice. Those 2 games are, I don't want to say as important as conference play because, we want to win our conference this year, but those 2 have been circled on the schedule since we handed out the schedules to the players, and they all know what those games mean. We're looking forward to them. I think that those are 2 of those games where if our guys show up and think, oh, we beat them last year, we'll beat them again this year, there's a chance it may not go our way. But I don't think that's going to be the case in these 2 games because the guys know what those 2 mean. They'll show up ready to play. So, we're looking forward to it. I think the 21st, when we're at home, we're doing our Redskins in the outfield again, where all the Little League players will be out there playing wiffle ball before the game, and they all get in for free. So we should have a really good crowd on the 21st. And hopefully we're going for the series sweep on Tuesday.
Well, we're going to be there for you on Tuesday, Coach. I sure do appreciate your time. It means a lot, and like you said, it was a start that needed to happen almost now in a non-conference opponents, so that you guys can get ready for the conference. And like we talked, the strength of schedule is a good one for your Redskins. So I think you guys got a great team, and I sure do appreciate your time.
Yep, thank you.
All right, that is head coach of the Knox Redskins Baseball Club, Dustin Waters, here on the Saturday Sports Line. We're going to take a break, come back, more sports talk on the way. It gets past Trotsky, and here comes the tying run. Xavier Boyd, and advancing to 3 is the courtesy runner. He swings at this one. It's in the gap between left and center field, and it will drop for he's going to try to slide in for 2. He will. It's a double for Carson Rinker. Big rip back to center field, left center. It'll drop for a base hit, and getting on base.
Frayne Mortuary in Winamac is family-owned and operated with 3 locations serving Pulaski County and the surrounding communities. Frayne Mortuary has provided our community with caring and compassionate service for loved ones. Our licensed staff is available to assist you with pre-need funeral planning and at-need funeral planning. We provide traditional burial and cremation services. We offer a full line of headstones and monuments at Frayne Mortuary in Winamac. It's our family serving your family.
It's time now for Hour 2 of the Saturday Sports Line with your host, Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI Sports Director, Mitch Columbi, and sports analyst, Chris McGowan.
We are back for more from the Pulaski Memorial Hospital studios. This is the longest-running high school sports show in Indiana, the Saturday Sports Line. It's time to talk about our Tyler Roth WKVI Athletes of the Week. First, we'll air one that we didn't get last week due to her being on spring break, and then we will air the one that was this past week in Brooke Rausch. But first, it's all about Brooklyn Burns, the freshman softball player from South Central. That week, we announced her. She was 2 for 4 at the plate, getting a 3 RBI double and scored 2 runs in a big win against South Bend Riley. Without further ado, here is my sit-down interview with South Central freshman Brooklyn Burns.
An amazing start for your freshman year of high school softball. What is it about the sport of softball, Brooklyn, that you love?
I mean, I just love how many life lessons you can learn and valuable skills and how many friends you can make along the way.
Yeah, let's talk about those friends. Who else on this team do you believe we should know about?
Well, we have Maddie, who's like one of our main pitchers, and Paisley, who's also one of our main pitchers, and then Grace is a big leader behind the plate. And then like our outfield's holding it down, our infield's holding it down, and I think we're doing really well.
Yeah, what was your goal coming into the season? I'm sure as a freshman you were probably a little nervous to see varsity action. Was there anything in your mind that you thought, hey, this is what I want to provide to the team or at least get better at in my freshman year?
Well, I always wanted to make sure my bat was going, and I just want to always get better during the school season because I want to go off and play in college and go to med school, and that kind of all starts here.
Wow, that's quite a big goal. Congrats, good for you. Talk about the coaching staff. What is it about Coach Wallace that you appreciate and the rest of the staff?
I just appreciate how knowledgeable they are. They've been doing this for probably quite some time now, and they're always pushing us to be the best we can be, and they've had a lot of success, so it's just great to be a part of that program.
Yeah, who's all on the coaching staff? Tell us.
Gary Biggs, Ray Matheny, Jason Romine, and my mom, Kimberly Burns.
Yeah, and I know Kimberly Burns used to coach with Plymouth softball head coach Brian Hammond. He's a good friend of mine, and he told me that he'd be listening to this interview. Yeah. They had a stint there at Culver coaching together, so it sounds like softball is really a family sport for you. Tell us your parents' names.
My parents' names are Kimberly and Neil Burns.
And talk about the support system they've been for you.
When I was younger, my mom used to coach me too, and she played when she was younger, so she knows a lot, and she kind of taught me like all about softball. And my dad is like my driver. He's driving me to lessons, practice, games, and he'll catch me at lessons. He's just always there for me, and so is my mom.
What was a goal you think the coaching staff had set for this team, or what is the goal that they set for this team this year?
I mean, I think our biggest goal is probably going to state and trying to win state, but also like conference. We want to always beat the teams in the conference because they're big rivals.
Yeah, and I'm sure you came in as a freshman knowing the history of South Central softball. A lot of great years here at South Central. What's something that you learned early coming into freshman year, like, hey, this is expected of me because the bar has been set so high by previous teams? What's the history about South Central that you've learned?
Well, I've learned that we've always been a really good hitting team, and like the past few years we've had some pretty good pitching teams, so we got to keep up to that standard. And they just like want us to be the best we can be, so as long as we're doing that, we're good.
What does it mean to Brooklyn Burns to be a South Central satellite?
It means a lot. I am so happy to be part of this organization, and the community is so great. And even though it's small, we have a lot of people around me, my friends, my family, the fans, and it's just amazing to have them behind me.
Well, Brooklyn, I sure do appreciate your time, and thank you. Good luck the rest of your freshman year. I'm sure you're excited to see how far this team can go. Congratulations for being named one of our Tyler Roth WKVI Athletes of the Week.
Thank you so much.
Well, I appreciate Miss Burns for her time. Also, shout out to Athletic Director Chuck Wilhelm for helping me set that interview up. We now transition to Winamac, where the Winamac Lady Warriors softball player Brooke Rausch was named our Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Week last Saturday. Brooke went 3-0 pitching that week with a no-hitter through 12 innings, not allowing anything. She had 16 strikeouts that week. So without further ado, here is my sit-down interview with senior softball star from Winamac, Brooke Rausch.
We kind of remember last year watching you, Brooke. You've really done a great job in the circle for the Warriors. What is it about the sport of softball, Brooke, that you love?
Softball has been a lot to me throughout all of my life, basically. I have two older siblings that both played, so from about kindergarten, I started practicing softball and learning how to pitch. So it's been with me through all my life, and it's taught me a lot of hard lessons, and I've had a lot of big wins and big moments throughout it all. So it's always been kind of there for me when I've needed it most.
Yeah, it seems like this club is always prepared, and Coach Belcher and the staff do such an amazing job preparing you and the girls. Talk about Coach Belcher. I know she just recently achieved her 400th career win as a high school softball head coach. Talk about her and the support system that you get from them in preparation.
Yeah, so Saturday was a big day for the team and Coach Belcher getting her 400th win. So it was really cool to be able to be a part of that. And she came in to practice this past week and just kind of reiterated that 400th win was big for her, but that she still knows the importance of the teams that have come before and all the players that have come before. And she's a very humble coach that puts in the time and puts in the effort and cares a lot about her players and cares about teaching us lessons outside of softball.
Yeah, I know this is your senior year. This is my fourth year covering this area, especially when it comes to Winamac. And you brought up the athletes that have come before you. Talk about some of the athletes that helped you early on in your career, your freshman, sophomore, junior even. Talk about some of the athletes that you'll always remember that helped you become the player you are today.
Yeah, this year has definitely been different without Corinne Combs and Lindsay Walters, because they were, obviously I'd played with them all throughout high school and middle school. Corinne, I'd never pitched to anyone except Corinne in a varsity softball game, so it was hard to not have them this year. And then different, like Maggie Smith was a big player that I got to play with, and, Emma Goodman, Mackenzie Hines. So there were some big shoes to fill throughout the years, and I feel like my teammates are the ones that have really helped me step into those different positions that have been left open throughout the years.
And you talked about some pretty impressive players through Winamac history. I know you mentioned Maggie Smith. Wow, that's one you'll always say, hey, I got to play with her.
Yeah.
But these girls that are younger than you, they're going to get to say that they played with Brooke Rausch. So talk about some of the other players on this team that you believe we should know about.
Yeah, definitely a huge shout out to the other seniors. We've been a pretty close group all throughout, elementary and middle school and now high school. So, Brody Goodman, Hannah Meyer, Michaela Warner, and Corinne Ulrich, they've all put in a ton of time through travel ball and school ball and just athletics in general to be kind of this moment in our softball senior season. So, and then Adriana Hall, me and her do a lot of tag teaming on pitching, so definitely Adrian. Maggie Keller is a huge part of our team, so Grace Roth is another one that has stepped in as our catcher this year. So forming those different kinds of connections this year from people that have filled the roles, and it's been a lot to kind of rebuild our team's dynamic with the younger classes. So that's been the fun part about this year, is kind of getting closer to the different teammates.
I know this team is really looking strong right now, kind of a dual threat. You in the circle just dominating and not allowing teams to either get on base, or when they do get on base, not allowing them to score. But then on the back end, you've got the bats going, which helps you in the circle even more. So talk about this scoring. I mean, you and the girls are scoring at will right now. We talked right before the interview, the lowest amount of runs that you've scored in a game thus far as we talk here on Friday is 8. So, I mean, you're getting the bats going and you're bringing runs across. Talk about the bats and how the offense is really helping you when you're on defense pitching.
Yeah, it's been huge, and I look at my pitching as a pitching style that relies on my teammates, so I wouldn't say I'm necessarily always working for strikeouts. Obviously as a pitcher you want to work for strikeouts, but I rely a lot on my defense and a lot on my offense. So it's been really important that the bats have been hot so far in the season, and a lot of that goes back to our preseason. We've been hitting the gym hard from January all the way to March, so people put in the time and put in the effort, and I'd say that's why we're where we're at right now in the season.
It seems like this team has some pretty big goals. So what was the goal in your mind coming into the season, maybe that you had for the team, or the coaching staff has kind of set for the team?
Yeah, so last season we had some pretty big goals of, beating some rivals and conference title, and I'd say now those aren't necessarily our goals, those are our expectations. So it's just kind of building on those expectations, and, we want to get conference again, and we love to go far in the sectional and keep up our wins and beating some of those big rivalries. So I'd say it's a lot of the same expectations, and now we're building on them with our goals.
Yeah, you mentioned big-time rivalries, and we're going to see one. I know it's a non-conference opponent, but it's kind of for bragging rights of the county here in Pulaski. Talk about taking on the Trojans again. I know you've kind of had their number the last few years, but this is your senior year, and I'm sure you want to go out beating your cross-county rival. We're going to see you this coming week, so talk about preparation and the excitement behind that.
Yeah, they say respect all, fear none. So we're going to go in there with hopefully hot bats and tight defense and good pitching. So it's always a good game no matter where both teams are at in their season, and it should be a good show.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited about it. I'm ready to see that next week. Tell us your parents' names.
So my parents are Tim and Jessica Rausch. My mom is a teacher here at the school, and then my dad is a part of the school board. So we've all been very involved in the school throughout my high school career and my sister's high school careers. And I owe a lot to my parents throughout all of my softball career. They've been huge supporters, and the late night drives from softball games and early morning drives to pitching practice, and they are still very involved in my sports. My mom's the bookkeeper for the team, and she's always willing to feed the team if they need breakfast or something. And my dad's a farmer, so he gets busy in the spring, but I know he's always watching on Game Changer and following along. So it's really important to me to know that I have that support.
Well, Brooke, tell us what it means to you to be a Winamac Warrior.
It's awesome to be a Winamac Warrior. There's been so many big successes in a lot of the athletic programs throughout the past years, and just walking down the halls, you see the different athletes in the Hall of Fame and the Hoosier North Athletic athletes, and it's just cool to get to carry on that legacy and honor the past athletes and kind of inspire the next one. So even outside of athletics, being a part of the drama club and being in the student council and lots of different clubs, it's cool to get to feel connected to all the past students that have came through Winamac as a Warrior.
Well, Brooke, I sure do appreciate your time. I look forward to seeing you and the girls this coming week for a couple of rivalries, though, against the Trojans and against the Redskins in the War on 35. So I sure do appreciate your time. Congratulations for being named one of our Tyler Roth WKVI Athletes of the Week.
Thank you.
Well, I appreciate Miss Rausch for her time. Also, thank you to Athletic Director Brian Leverns for helping me set that interview up as we are taking a quick break, transitioning to North Judson-San baseball with head coach Alvin Harper. He's up next.
Real tough play.
Slicer up the middle, stealing two, coming home, they score, safe at first. Wow. So the go-ahead run crosses Carson Rinker. It's now 3-2. The Satellites lead.
And that's an RBI single for Jackson Hunter.
But time sure does fly by. Collins Insurance Agency in downtown Knox are celebrating over 30 years of taking care of all of your insurance needs in our communities.
If I could turn back time.
And we're not going anywhere.
Stop in and see Jim and the crew at Collins Insurance Agency in downtown Knox.
Insurance you can count on from a business you've trusted since 1989.
Proud presidential partners of Western Reserve.
Stay tuned for more sports talk with Mitch Columbi on Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI.
The Stark County Co-op has been a member-owned farm services co-op in Stark County since 1928. That's over 90 years, and they're still providing the same quality agronomy services to the farming community of Stark and surrounding counties. The Stark County Co-op is an LP and fuel provider. The Stark County Co-op purchases grain at both locations, Hamlet and Browns. You can reach them by phone at 1-800-782-3392, the Stark County Co-op.
Here's more with area high school coaches as we return to the Saturday Sports Line from the Pulaski Memorial Hospital Studios on K99.3.
And we welcome you back to the Saturday Sports Line as we transition to the other side of the county. We're going to talk North Judson-San Blue Jay baseball with head coach Alvin Harper. I've got him on the line. Coach, good morning.
Good morning, Mitch.
Hey, it's good to talk to you. We talked a couple of weeks ago about goals for the season and getting things rolling, and boy, we knew going in that you were going to face a tough team in Couts to start the season. Coincidentally, the Redskins started their season off against Couts. I think a lot of teams that face Couts this year are in for they're in for a tough game this year whenever they play them. But let's go ahead and catch our listeners up on what you've seen from your team, good and bad, that you want to work on, and what you're still hoping to see here today against Caston. Let's start at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, the Couch game, we knew that they were a great team, but a lot of that was on us. We didn't play the best. We had a lot of mistakes, errors. Just first game nervousness with a young team. I think that was a big part of that. We just some positives from it. We kept our heads up. We kind of knew going in that it was going to be tough for us, but we expected to play better than that.
Yeah,
and then we had. Go ahead.
No, yeah, and then I was going to say, but you turned things right around to face a cross-county opponent in Oregon Davis, and you're able to get both games against them.
Yeah, we played pretty good against OD. They threw Brady Danford the first game. We were patient, got his pitch count up, got him out, and then we kind of took over that first game. And then the second night, they had a lot of games right in a row, so their pitching was a little down, but we played really well both games in those two nights.
I'm also hearing and seeing from other scores in the area, but Rusty Nixon on our other station said, Triton's a good baseball team this year, and you had a couple of tough games against them, but that second one, you guys hung in there.
Yeah, the second game was probably our best game we've played. I think we had one error the whole game. Bradley Erzik pitched a great game. I mean, he had 13 strikeouts. He really took command of the game. I'm very proud of what he did. And then, they threw the Kaufman kid, which is their best or second best pitcher. And we got some hits. We played them pretty tough. It was 1-1 going in the bottom of the sixth. And we walked a guy and got bases loaded, and it kind of went downhill from there, but it was our best game we've played so far.
Seems like good things are happening for Ace Harper in the batter's box. He leads the team with a 467 at the plate, and then right behind him another sophomore. Two sophomores leading this team in the box. Cash Collins and then Brody Bridegroom, a trusted senior right there, both having a 333 at the plate. So talk about the bats and what you've seen. I know Harper is getting on base a lot of the time, 556. Doug Reed, a 529, and Collins, a 429. So, it looks like you guys are swinging the bats at this time and getting on base at least.
Yeah, and I think we could be better at that, being a little more patient at the plate and going after pitches that we want to hit aggressively. We're kind of laying back and not taking very good cuts at times. But, Cash has been a big surprise, and I'm he's got to be in the lineup more. Anthony Roberts is another kid that him and Cash are kind of split times, and they're both really good. I got to figure out a way to get them guys on the field. It's just tough right now,
Yeah.
Early in the season.
Yeah, and it's been a test. We talked about strength of schedule. It's those kind of non-conference matchups leading into the conference against Triton that kind of prepare you for that. And then you face one of the better teams in the conference at this point in Triton. It kind of sets the stage for what happens today against Caston. You guys are also stealing bases, it looks like. So, once you get on base, you guys are being aggressive.
Yeah, we're trying to manufacture some runs, that's for sure.
And then you talked about Bradley Erzik. Talk about the pitching other than him that you've seen, maybe some things you need to work on or things you're happy with.
Aiden Christensen's been throwing the ball great. He's a gamer. Me and you've talked about that before. He's just an athlete. He goes out and he always gives me 100% when he's on the mound. He's pitching well. And I've got a young kid, Aiden Selmer. He's been coming in. And he's surprising some people. He's doing a really good job. I'm super proud of him.
Well, let's talk about today against Caston, the doubleheader on the road. What do you know about the Comets?
The Comets always play really good baseball. They don't make many mistakes. They're also fairly young. We're going to have our hands full with them, but it's still going to be fun. Go down there and compete. I know they've got a left-handed pitcher that's pretty good. Going to throw Brad and Aiden Christensen against them, and hopefully we can pull out a couple wins.
Well, it sets the stage for a big non-conference battle, but really it's a rivalry that everyone thinks of as a conference battle against the Knox Redskins. We'll see you on Tuesday. You're hosting Knox on Monday. This is a busy week for you guys coming up, so I'm sure the pitching staff is going to be flexed. He said they're going to be played a lot this coming week. But talk about how you want to attack the rivalry against Knox.
Well, for us, it's us going out and playing better, improving every time we get on the field, relaxing. The rivalry is going to add some more intensity to it, and that's great for us. That prepares us for a sectional matchup, with some intensity and playing with a little more heart, but yeah, it's about us. I'm not really worried about who the opponent is. It's about us going out and getting better, and hopefully we can do that. Yeah, it's been a couple of years since you beat the Redskins. They were able to get you both times last year, so I'm sure that is probably playing in the ear of some of the guys for next week. I'm sure. My job's to try to keep them calm and get them ready to go. A nervous baseball player is not always the best baseball player. Well, it seems like it's really going to be a busy week for you guys. You play Monday, Tuesday, then Thursday, Friday, Saturday doubleheader, and then back on it Monday next week against Winamac. So, this stretch of the season, we're rocking and rolling now, Coach. How do you kind of stay prepared for yourself? Just take it one day at a time, Mitch. That's all you can do. It's much nicer than a football season. It's just one game a week. Yeah, you're right. You're right. And then during the week, I'm always peeping at some film and figuring stuff out. Here, you don't have that. You're hoping, you're thinking what they're going to do, and you show up, and it's totally different. Yeah, and you got Bigham and Button in the bottom of the sixth to win the game for him. One of the best hitters in the state. I didn't expect that. Yeah. Well, and then another thing we saw against the Redskins, the satellites. I know you won't see the satellites this year, but something that Coach Hannon and I were talking about on the broadcast is small ball. Once the satellites were able to get on base against the Redskins, they were bunting players forward, and that caused the infield to have to work a little harder, and there were some errors. So, there's been some good baseball we've seen early on in the season. It's just like you said, once you get on base, you got to be aggressive, take chances, get in scoring position. And the Redskins, while they were in the game all the way up to that point, it was the small ball by the satellites that really pulled them away from the Redskins. So, who knows what can happen against them? They're having a tough season right now, 2-3. They had a couple of good wins, one against Oregon Davis, but in Washington Township. So you guys are right now before today's doubleheader with them. You're going into this rivalry with a similar record here, so I'm guessing it's going to be a pretty good matchup. Yeah, I think it's going to be. I think we match up very well with them, and they probably think the same thing. They think they match up well with us, so hopefully it's a couple great games. Yeah, and the small ball is the way to go a lot of times. Yeah, and that's exactly what worked for the Satellites. They were coming off a loss last year to Knox, and they kind of really attacked Knox. Once they got on base there midway through the fifth inning, they really were able to lay down some nice bunts, little dribblers down the right or left field line, and it worked for them to advance those runners. What I'm interested in, since it is a non-conference game against Knox, how both of you teams respond. And I know I probably won't get the answer here, but it'll be interesting to see how you and them respond on the mound, because a couple days later, and so do they. They've got conference games they've got to prepare for. Yeah, you have to weigh that in, because in conference you're playing for a championship there. This game, it means a lot to us personally, but in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't mean everything. Yeah, right. But personally, to all of us, it means something. Yeah, it's bragging rights. Yeah, it's a tough call. Do I go out and, I have to make those decisions. I got to see what happens today,
Yeah. How do we?
I got to see what I got to use up today.
Yeah, how do we respond today with a doubleheader? That's got to be tough. Well, I appreciate your time, Coach, and I hope it's a couple of big wins today for the doubleheader and the Jays, and I look forward to seeing you on Tuesday.
All right, Mitch. Thank you.
Of course, that is head coach of the North Judson-San Blue Jays Baseball Club, Alvin Harper, here on the Saturday Sports Line. We're going to take a break, come back. We're going to stay with North Judson. We're going to talk with Kylene and Brett Lambert of the track and field team at North Judson. Cut back to right field, over the head of the right fielder, to bounce for a base hit, bringing 1 run home. It will bring 2 runs home, and standing in for a 2 RBI double is Jackson Arnett.
There's a trend happening around the educational world. More and more high school graduates are attending smaller community colleges to start their educational journey. At Marian University's Ancilla College, we welcome students from all walks of life. The opportunities at Marian University are endless, from living on campus to being a collegiate student athlete. From day one, your professors will help you create a plan for a success at Marian and beyond. Find out more about Marian University's Ancilla College through our website at marian.edu/Ancilla today.
Stay tuned for more sports talk with Mitch Columbi and Chris McGowan on the longest-running high school sports show in Indiana, the Saturday Sports Line.
The team at LAP Waste is ready to serve you. Here's Honey Lamer.
Yes, we are so blessed at LAP Waste. We have been able to expand our staffing, and we have some amazing drivers, office help. We are just absolutely blessed in the group that we currently have.
Kirby Anderson, how does someone reach out to LAP to become a customer?
It's real simple. They can either email lapwaste@yahoo.com, and then we will get in contact with them, or they can call the office at 574-542-4019.
The Saturday Sports Line continues with Kankakee Valley area coaches and special guests. Here's Sports Director Mitch Columbi.
Ooh, base hit for Like. He'll bring 1 run across. He'll bring 2 runs across.
And we welcome you back to the Saturday Sports Line as we now transition to North Judson-San track and field with both head coaches, Kylene and Brett Lambert. Good morning, Coach Lambert. How are you today?
Good. How are you doing?
I am doing good. You want to swing a mic over?
Oh, yeah. We'll let the coaches talk, I guess. We'll swing it around.
How are you, Kylene?
I'm good, thank you.
It's good to see you guys. It's been a while since we talked. Been a while since I talked to you, Coach Lambert, in the fall. But let's talk about this track and field team. We've talked with Knox. We've had a chance to catch up with Culver. Now we get a chance to talk Blue Jay track and field. And I know a lot of good things are happening. I've been seeing them on social media. Who wants to go first, girls coach or boys coach?
I guess I'll go first.
Okay. So what's going on? A lot.
Yeah. So far we've had 4 track meets, which really isn't too bad, because normally, in early April, you're going to get a bunch of meets canceled. And I think this is the first year in probably, 5+ years that we have not had one canceled yet. So again, we've had a good start to the year. I can't remember exactly what our exact record is. I know we got a winning record. We've had some meets with Winamac and West Central. We had one with Couts and DeMott Christian. I had one with Boone Grove. Then we just had one with Caston, and then Tri-Township. So, during those meets, we've had some really good performances. I'll start off with some, guys here. So Alex Cager has really had a great start to the season. Alex has been, he's a junior right now. Since his freshman year, he's really done well in the 110 hurdles, the 300 hurdles, the 4x1, and then other events. But yeah, he's right now undefeated in the hurdles. And he's one of the best hurdlers in the area. He's the best hurdler in this area. and he's got potential to really make it down to state this year. I mean, he's running that well. Then he also runs the 100 for us, and he's undefeated in that right now. Then he's the anchor on our 4x1, which if not for a dropped handoff, our 4x1 would be undefeated right now. So again, he's a big part of all those teams, and they're having a lot of success. And again, Alex is a great kid. Even though he's just a junior now, I know he wants to run in college, and he can definitely do that. And he's got the work ethic to do it. He's close to our 110 high hurdles record. It's a really good record from the 90s from Jim Staberski, but he's, and Jim Staberski went to state. Yeah. But he went to state. So he's close to that. He is very close. He's knocking on the door of breaking the 100 record. And then he's got the 300 hurdle record. He's actually broke that 3 times.
Who has the 100 record?
There's a bunch of people, and I know you're saying it. So I'm on the list.
Yes, you are.
And I told him, I said, it just for goodness sakes, don't tie it or anything. Just beat the record. Let's knock all the names off the list and just let it be yours. And he's the type of kid that is very deserving of all of it because he's so good, but he's humble. Doesn't get in trouble. He's pretty quiet. Well, I think he is. I see him around his friends though. Like he's quiet in front of the
coaches, right?
Yeah,
around his track meet I was at. Yeah.
There might be another side to him. I'm not sure. But again, I don't want to talk the whole time about Alex, but just that he is just a great kid.
He did set the school record in the 300, right?
Yes, and he has done that. Like
twice
I said,
now, right?
He did it last year against Knox, and then he's done it the last 2 meets. And this is no disrespect to the guys he's going against from other schools, but like the 300 hurdles the other night, he set the record and won by 8 seconds. So he's not even being pushed. There's no like you usually set records in sprints. I've always kind of thought where you're either neck and neck with somebody or you're chasing somebody.
Right.
So just wait until he's neck to neck with some people. Who knows what's going to come out of him? So I really think he's got a chance. Like I said. And again, I'm not trying to jinx him here because I know he's got a lot of season left. But if he can just keep this up and progress, he can go to state in that. Some other guys that have really done well in the sprints, Aiden McGowan in the 200, he's undefeated in that. And then Aiden's part of our 4x1 and 4x4 teams. Again, the 4x1 teams lost once, but that's because we dropped a handoff. We were up by like 20 meters and dropped the handoff. These on our 4x4 team that's just lost once. Again, Aiden was the conference champ last year in the 200, and he's really doing well in that. And here's somebody. Wyatt Fogus is part of our 4x1 and 4x4 relay. And again, I already mentioned they're doing really well. But Wyatt runs the 100 with Cager and the 200 with McGowan. Well, if it wasn't, he's gotten second, I think, in about every meet. There might have been maybe a kid from Winamac maybe beat him in the 200, I think. But other than that, I don't think anybody else has beat him. But it's just the fact that he's running behind these other 2 guys that are really good. So he doesn't get the notoriety because he's getting seconds. But I see what he's doing and the talent he has.
But he's scoring points for the team.
Scoring a lot of points, yeah.
Right.
In any other year, if he was on another team another year and didn't have some of these guys next to him, you'd be winning. We'd be talking about him right now.
I'm waiting for the shake and bake. Slingshot engaged.
Well, I don't know what kind of agreements they have on that.
Can you let me win just once?
Yeah. I don't think those guys are going to let anybody win.
I know.
So again, there's those 3 for sprints. Then another guy, Evan McGowan. So again, Aiden's twin. Again, they just had a birthday the other day. I guess happy birthday to them.
Happy 16th birthday.
Happy 16th birthday. But Evan is the lead guy on the 4x100 relay. And Evan's also, he's our best shot guy in discus. But he's always had decent speed. But man, is he in this off season, he has put in a lot of time into our speed development, and he looks fast. And probably when it comes to the 40 or 50 yard or meter sprint, he might be the fastest. He's right there with Cager in that. Now he kind of loses a little bit of that as he goes, but he's leading off that 4x1 relay and just doing a great job. And he, he's the fullback on the football team, and he looks like a fullback out there on the track, but he is moving. So those guys are really doing a good job for us. Julian Cager's another guy. Our I didn't say this already. Our 4x1 is going to be pushing the school record this year. I mean, that's a great group of guys. And what I was about to say was Julian Cager, isn't even on the 4x1, but any other year he would be. So he's doing a really good job in the 400 for us. Julian also is a good long jumper and high jumper. But like I said, he doesn't necessarily get the opportunity to run some of those sprints that probably a lot of other years he would have. Another name here, Julian White. Again, Julian White would be a good part of he'd be a good 4x1 member. Again, he's our sixth guy because we got enough guys. But he's part of our 4x4. And Julian, he high jumped 6 foot the other night. Oh, let me get into this. I've only had one other guy do this. It was Mike Minix, and this was about, 12, 15 years ago. I can't do dates anymore. I've been coaching too long.
Too long, right?
But I've only had one other guy, and that was Mike, that did long jump, pole vault, and high jump, which is not easy. You're doing all 3 jumping events, but Julian is doing that right now. So he's gotten 12 foot in pole vault. He's got 6 foot the other night in high jump, which that's if you're getting 6 foot at sectionals, you're contending to go to regionals. Then he's also about an 18.5 foot long jumper, and probably has 19.5, 20 potential. Then he's on the 4x4. So again, he's been consistent for us and just getting it done. And for all those guys I just mentioned, kind of a cool thing is Cager and Julian are juniors. The McGowans are sophomores. Fogus is a sophomore. Julian Cager is a sophomore. So all 6 of those guys are underclassmen. What they're doing now, I think they could even build upon that more as we move into the future. Not that I'm trying to look that far ahead, but I mean, again, they're all underclassmen. Let's see, just going through my list here. I just want to go through a bunch of names. So like my distance guys this year, I got a big group. I'll just go through it from seniors down. So we got Gabe Brzezowskis, Mikey Simons are 2 seniors in the distance group. Axel Clemens is part of that. Hudson Stacy, Tristan Voiles, they're juniors. Sophomores, we got Justin Burns, Noah Harrison, Ashton Mall, then Yos Moreland. So again, they've been really pushing themselves there in the distance. Some throwers, we got Landon Wright. Go through the list. Dominic Schroeder, you got Leo Shorter, Caden Fogus. So again, you've got those guys over in the throwers area, and they're pushing each other, and they've been improving. And then I know Liam Davis is another freshman who's been, Liam's really a talented kid, but he's stuck behind some pretty good upperclassmen right now. But he's starting to find kind of a niche. He ran a pretty good 400 the other night. He's won long jump at one of our meets this year. He's a high jumper. So again, we got a good group there. There's some talent, and again, it's really, and I think my wife would say the same thing. This group has been, again, it's kind of the curse of death probably to say this, but they have been very easy to coach this year. They do what they're supposed to do. If they complain, they at least know not to do it around us. And it's just a good group. They work hard. There hasn't been, and again, I know Chris is probably thinking, don't say that loud, but there hasn't been any discipline issues.
There's the kissing.
But it's been a fun year. I mean, it really has, and it's been almost effortless for us as coaches to be a part of this. And it's been not like we're not working hard, and the kids are working hard, but it's just been a really fun year so far. And it's not like we got good teams, but it's not like we're the greatest teams ever. But it's just fun, and that's I really like this group of kids.
I can say this because they're my nephews. I'm just going to say it. I'm all joking. Okay, the McGowan boys probably just haven't been caught yet.
They are really. I mean, no, they are hard workers. I know you're probably right. There's a little bit of that, but they are good.
Danny's
kids.
their dad. Come on.
Yeah. Well, Dan. Yeah, I better take all that back because we do have Danny. We have to deal with sometimes. So if there's any trouble, it's probably coming from Danny.
Well, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead and make this comment, and then we're going to switch it over, and we're going to talk girls track. But I was standing there at the track meet, Couts, and the Mock Christian, and me and Coach D were standing in the infield, and we're just talking. And I'm like, man, why doesn't that kid play football? Why doesn't that kid play football? Why doesn't that kid play football? He goes, I'm trying. All right. So we'll go ahead and let you stew on that one for a while, Coach.
Well, Wyatt Fogus would be a good one.
Yeah, that was the first one I pointed out. I'm like, why ain't that kid playing?
We just had our football meeting yesterday, and And he didn't come to it, which he hasn't played since maybe middle school he played. But I did say to him at track practice, "Hey, where were you? At the end of seventh
Right.
period, we had the football call out." But anyway, so I'm with you on that.
Okay, all right. The other coach, Lambert. Let's talk about the girls. How are you guys doing so far this season?
Well, we're off to a good start. Like Brett said, just to have 4 outdoor meets in at this point of the season is
with great temperature.
With pretty good temperature.
Right.
Now, the first meet there at Winamac with West Central, it was probably about 38 degrees.
Right.
The sun was shining. It helps when you get some sun and less wind.
Yeah,
makes all the difference. But we're off to a good start. We are a young team. I think we have 19 girls total, 9 freshmen. Okay. And let's just kind of go through it a little bit here. I'm going to start with our one senior, Mariah Lowe. Started the season off with a bang. And Brett didn't even mention this, but Mariah and Alex Cager both competed at the indoor state finals down at Indy at the fairgrounds. So Cager ran the 60 hurdles and Mariah long jumped. And after that, tweaked her hamstring a little bit. So anyways, has not competed since. And this is coming off of last season, had knee surgery. So she
Same
competed.
leg?
No. No. And her freshman year in track had tweaked the other hamstring. So anyways, this isn't new. But anyways, thought it felt a little better and just kind of erring on the side of caution right now. But anyway, so really hasn't been able to do anything but hoping and praying that she is back here soon because she makes a big difference for our team.
Well, she's committed to Franklin.
She is. She's running, yes. Let's go ahead and add that. She is running and jumping at Franklin College. So, it's not one of these things where you're a senior and you're like, you know what, no matter what, I'm just going to go out there and do it if I'm injured, whatever. She's got things still. She's got a future. Yeah. And so she's thinking about that, and I don't blame her 1 second for that, being smart about it. So anyways, but our team misses her because she's a very big component. At her qualifying meet at Purdue to even qualify for the state meet, she jumped her PR jump 16, 5 3/4 inches. And for long jump, that's not too shabby. Our school record's 16-11, so we're really... fingers crossed she gets healthy and we can progress, but hoping for big things for her in sprints and relays. We have 5 juniors. I'm just going to kind of say names here and talk about people. Gabby Allen is a newcomer this year. She's sprinting. Peyton Brown, a returner. She sprints, a little bit injured right now, but Angelina Morrow, she also sprints. Angelina has been a great sub for us in our relays for Mariah, and just good girl, will sub in and do anything you ask her to do with a smile on her face. So working hard, I'm proud of her. Maddie Vesley is a thrower. Maddie's really kind of getting back into things. We're a small school. These kids are busy. They're on academic teams. We had Maddie Vesley, Yost Moreland, and Abby Bacon were in the play, and they kind of pushed the play back a little later this year, which was probably good for them prepping, but for the track season, makes it a little tricky. But anyways, Maddie's getting back into her throws. Ava Lee Wright, sprints and relays. She's just kind of a jack of all trades if we need her, but a hard worker. Our sophomores, we have 4. Emily Frazier, she pole vaults and hurdles. We have Elena Gappa, who is in throws, has scored quite a bit for us, in discus especially, but even in shot put a little bit. Elena had knee surgery last year as well. And so anyways, this really is her first season competing for us, and she's coming a long way. Honey Kirk is also a sophomore, pole vault, throws, 400, kind of an odd combo to have pole vault and throws, but she's working hard. Michaela Simons, bless her heart, our only distance girl. Only one. And she's working hard. Obviously, no 4x8 relay. We don't have enough distance girls, but she's running the mile and the 8. She's a member of our 4x4 relay team and works really hard. Just got her new PR in the mile the other night. proud of her for that. And then our 9 freshmen, okay? And they're kind of a hodgepodge of, just like freshmen are,
Right.
of about anything you could imagine. We've got Abby Bacon, who is on both relays, 4x1 and 4x4, runs the 400, and a long jumper, just working hard, and she's having a great season so far. Lily Chambers is throwing, shot put, and discus. We've got Miley Compton, who's a pole vaulter. She's also hurdling. Miley is coming a long way, getting her confidence in her hurdle races. I'm proud of her there. Phoenix Kirk, she's pole vaulting and throwing. We've got Olivia Morton also pole vaulting and throwing. Chloe Shorter's a thrower. Sydney Shanowski, she's probably one of our highlights as far as freshmen are concerned. In our relays, our 4x1 and 4x4, just working really hard. Sprints, long jump, she's jumping 15 and a half feet, just got her new PR. So that was good. Adriana Webster's also scoring quite a bit in throws. And then last but not least, we've got Heidi Wood pole vaulting and throwing. So that's kind of the rundown there. But we have, we're off to a good start, I think. It's a young team. We're sitting at probably about 500 as far as our record's concerned. With Mariah out, we're not necessarily scoring the points I thought we would score.
Right.
One star runner makes a difference, one star athlete. And when you have a young team, it makes a difference.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you're expecting a first or a second in 4 events, that's a lot of points.
Right. And then you're, kind of shuffling around with relays, and some people are filling in, and, then you get one more person sick on a small school team,
Right.
and it's like, all bets are off here.
Right.
So we're filling events. The kids are working hard. We're improving each meet. And I think that's all you can ask with a young team, as Brett said. They're a fun group. They're easy to coach. And some years that's a lot easier when you have kids that'll work hard. They'll jump in on any event you ask them to. Sometimes,
and you don't have to coax them into doing it. They just do it. It's being competitive.
We have a lot of volunteering.
Yeah, because I don't recall this year having one kid saying, "Oh, coach, I just don't really feel like nobody's really doing that." Maybe it's happened a little bit, and it's legit because there is an injury. But there's been in the past years we've had just some people like, "Oh, I don't want to run the 4x4," just whining, and they just kind of know not to do that,
right?
Which is kind of nice.
Which is a nice presence of mind.
Right. I know when I used to coach track, I had one kid that used to always find himself in the bathroom when it was time for him to run his event.
We've had those before, I think.
We've had those before.
I didn't know the race was going on.
I didn't know the race was going on.
Yeah, I'm going to throw in one thing. I was looking at my list here. I forgot Ethan Peters. And Ethan Peters has been doing a really good job in the pole vault. Again, Julian White is awesome at pole vault, but he's right with him. Ethan Peters is right there. So I was looking through my list, like, oh, crap, I forgot to mention Ethan. So Ethan's been over 11 foot, I think, this year in pole vault. So that's another one there. And then as my wife here was reading off some of that stuff, I didn't even realize how many girls we had that are pole vaulting and doing throwing. It just that is such a rare thing to have that many. But Coach Steve White is the pole vault coach, and he makes it a lot of fun. He's good at it. He's coached it for decades now. He's just awesome. So I think a lot of kids want to be over there, and then. Yeah, you go ahead.
Well, and I just want to say that in years past, we've had some years where we had to beg kids to try field events. Beg them. And these kids are almost field event heavy. And I don't mind, especially when they're young. Right. You have freshmen that want to try something. I am never going to be the one to say, no, you can't try it. I'm going to let everybody try what they want to try. Track isn't an easy sport. And so if these kids want to try something while they're out there, I mean, every day of our practice is pretty tough. Our warm-up alone takes a half an hour. It's a workout in itself. It is not an easy sport to join. So if these kids want to give it a whirl, go for it. It's...
And we make sure, because our warm-up has a lot of, running components to it, of course. But we make sure the throwers do it with us. So the throwers are part of that because they need to warm up as well.
Everybody should be dynamic. Right. It's a dynamic warm-up.
Absolutely.
So,
and then just real fast, I know we're probably running out of time here, but I mentioned Steve White with the pole vault. Of course, we got Danny McGowan, coaches the throws for us, and he's done that for quite a while. Then we also got Brody Tunis, helps us out with a lot of things, but really his specialty is the hurdles and the high jump. Brody's he's passionate about track, always has been since I coached him, and I like having him around a bunch. So again, that's our high school staff there.
I also wanted to bring up, I know he ran for you formerly it's been 3-4 years ago already, but a lot of news is coming out about Eric Materna at Marian University setting national records in the NAIA. I just think that's amazing. It's a testament to the work that he had put in high school, and it also shows your athletes like, hey, if you put in the effort, this is what can happen.
Yeah, so Eric's just a great 400 runner. Their 4x4 team's been very successful. He's ran the 600, which is like more of an indoor college event. It's done well. So Eric's representing us well, and the way his work ethic in high school has carried over, and he's built on that, so it doesn't surprise me. I'm going to throw in another name. Hannah Flores is at Trine, and she's a freshman. She has some school records there, and like Eric, just the work ethic she had, it made her kind of stand out amongst her, peers the last few years for us, and Eric was the same way, and very impressed with what they've done.
Well, it sounds like you guys have big goals this year, potentially a deep postseason run, so it won't be the last time we talk. I appreciate you guys coming in and chatting with us, and we'll catch up in the next few weeks.
All right, thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right. That is the North Judson-San Pierre track and field crew. Both head coaches, Kylene and Brett Lambert, here on the Saturday Sports Line. We're going to have the Where the Now segment up next. Harold's got Ryan Bales on. Then we'll also have our new Athlete of the Week interview. Our new Athlete of the Week announced at the end of the show. Stay tuned.
Rocky Mountain winter. I wind by the snow, watching for the snow. I've been thinking lately of what I'm missing in the city, and I'm not missing a thing.
Falls will hit one deep
again
between left and center field. It'll be a base hit. Actually, it'll be a double. So Falls will get the two. He gets bombed from first to third, and two runners in scoring position with nobody out here in the top of the seventh.
Yeah, he hit that ball well to the left center field gap right in between, and obviously Baum has good speed to go first to third, and then Falls just followed him right into second.
She's there to guide me. She says that.
Stay tuned for more sports talk with Mitch Columbi and Chris McGowan on the longest running high school sports show in Indiana, the Saturday Sports Line.
It's time now for Where Are They Now? A look back at more than a half century of local high school sports coverage on Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI. Now let's meet one of the local high school sports figures from more than 50 years of WKVI sports and find out where are they now?
Well, as we look back on more than 57 years of broadcasting high school sports in the Kankakee Valley area here on WKVI, our guest is Ryan Bales, a 1995 graduate of North Judson-San Pierre High School, and we call this segment Where Are They Now? So, Ryan, where are you now, and what are you doing?
Well, Harold, first of all, it's great to hear from you, sports has impacted my life in a lot of ways over the years, and education has been a part of that as well. And so I am currently at Northridge High School as the athletic director. I'm in my fifth year, finishing up my fifth year of doing that, and just really, enjoying a new role.
Well, being an athletic director encompasses a whole lot of things that I think the average fan doesn't even realize, not only hiring coaches and making schedules and so forth, but, man alive, you got to worry about officials and you got to worry about every sport in the high school, huh?
We do, and I will say that it has been a great fit for me here. As you know, family's always been very important to me. And in any job I've ever been a part of, any school, family, my family at least has always been a priority. And so, with 5 children and 5 boys and just being married for a lot of years, it is something where, time goes very fast, as you're aware. I can't believe it's been 30 years since, my graduation from high school. Time flies and things go really quick. And so to be in a place where I am supported, where I can have a life outside of athletics. I know that I can't speak for every athletic director because I know there's some horror stories out there. I honestly just left a meeting with the IHSAA today full of athletic directors, and, they're throwing out numbers like, the average lifespan of an athletic director right now is less than 5 years, and the number of athletic directors at a certain school is that number is even just decreasing. So I am truly blessed, Harold, to be at a school supported by this, community. Our school leaders really starts at the top with Jason Snyder, who I've been able to connect with. He was a former West Central, at least at one point his dad was the coach at West Central. He was a player at West Central. So he and I have connected really well. We've both been here for 5 years, and I will tell you that it is a lot of time, but I don't feel like it's been any different than when I was a teacher or coach. And again, I know there's other stories out there, maybe of some other athletic directors that are, we struggle with staffing, we struggle to find coaches, and everything goes in cycles. I fully understand maybe we're in a great place right now, and maybe in 2 years I may be having a different conversation, but for the first 5 years here, I couldn't have asked for more. I feel like I can be a dad, I can be a husband, and still be very present with my job, and that says a lot about the place I get to go to work for every day, and it's an enjoyment for me. I miss coaching. I miss definitely the competition piece. I don't always get that as an athletic director, but I will say I enjoy working with our coaches, and right now we are just in a great place, knock on wood, with our list of head coaches and their coaching staffs right now. We just can't say that it's fully been on me to hire well, but I will say that we've had some coaches that have just have come to Northridge, and we are just have great people who are leading our kids, and for an athletic director, as probably any athletic director will tell you, we have to have a lot of trust in our coaches and what they're doing. We can't be everywhere all the time. We have to trust what they're doing on a practice field or practice court, in a locker room, in a coach's office, and so right now I feel like again we're in a great place with just tremendous human beings as our leaders of our teams. I've been blessed with some great athletic directors over the years and people that supported me in my coach's role, and again I'll point to one like Mr. Roy Binge at Plymouth. For I was fortunate for 8 years to work under him, and man, the guy he cared for me, and his support for me never wavered, and so again, to me, it's still someone that I point to, someone that still stays in touch, and definitely one that was a mentor for me in this role, where whether win or lose, if you're doing it the right way, I felt supported, and that's what I tried to do for our coaches here.
Well, basketball was certainly a big part of your athletic background. You played on arguably the greatest area of high school basketball team that we ever saw in the Kankakee Valley area when your North Judson-San Blue Jays ended up in the Elite Eight when there were no classes in Indiana basketball back in 95. And you played a lot of basketball in high school. Then you went on and had national championship opportunities at the collegiate level. Going back over all those years, Ryan, of playing basketball, what's the one game that stands out in your mind more than any others all these years later? Well,
first of all, you saying one of the greatest teams, if not the greatest team in the area, man, it gives me chills to hear that, because I know very familiar with a lot of the players that have gone through the county and the area, the tremendous teams that have come through the northern part of the state. And for us to be even mentioned in that conversation, it just says so much about the people that we had as coaches and really my teammates that I got to play alongside, and just tremendous memories that I get to reflect on and everything else. But I will say that the regional championship at Michigan City, I don't again have a whole lot of recollection of it, but I just remember the environment. We were the smallest school. I think Couts was definitely in the mix there as well as one of the small schools at that point. But to play in the regional final against Michigan City and to run out to a sea of blue, it is something that I will never forget. And I'm sure winning that on top of that made that even sweeter. I know that we had a sea of blue and gold at Mackey Arena the next weekend, and I still remember that being the largest crowd that I had ever seen or played in front of, and for us to have the largest crowd there was simply amazing. But I think when you factor in the environment plus the success of being able to cut down a net, and now again 30 years later, seeing how tough that is, not everybody gets a chance to experience that. So for my 4 years of high school to be able to cut, have a chance of 4 sectional championship teams and been a part of that program at that time, probably honestly as a kid I just took it for granted, and as I've gotten into playing at Bethel, and again I was a part of 2 national championship teams. We unfortunately came up 2 points short in my senior year, and that was a tough one. But man, there is from my experience, there is nothing like Indiana high school basketball. I have 2 kids right now that are playing collegiately at Bethel and trying, and it's awesome that they get a chance to play. But I think they would both say the same thing. For them to compete for Northridge was just different. When you play in front of your community and your school, sure, there's some perks to college. There are some unbelievable opportunities that you get to keep playing that some others don't always get to do. But man, I just remember that game and the athleticism from Michigan City, and just how we were able to just play as one, play together. We had so many guys that just were such competitors. We didn't care who we were playing against. We weren't going to back down, and to do that together with a group of guys, there's nothing like it. And we just grew up playing, and so that was kind of a culmination of a lot of years of playing outdoors and playing on the driveway and playing at Doc Wonder's outdoor court over the years, and so to do that in that setting and bring a regional title to North Judson, it was just an amazing feeling and a memory I'll never forget.
We're talking with Ryan Bales, a 1995 graduate of North Judson-San Pierre High School. And Ryan, we've got so many things to talk about that we haven't had time to do here this morning, so we'd like to invite you to come back next week, and we'll continue this conversation because you've got a lot more stories and I've got a lot more questions. Our guest here on the Where Are They Now segment has been Ryan Bales, a 1995 graduate of North Judson-San Pierre High School. And as we said, we'll have him back next week to talk more about his high school career and about the accomplishments he had since his high school years. Join us again next week here on the Saturday Sports Line for Where Are They Now?
Where Are They Now? A look back at more than a half century of high school sports coverage on WKVI.
Join us each Saturday morning on WKVI for the Saturday Sports Line and worldwide on WKVI.com.
Time now for our Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Week, given in memory of Tyler Roth, a 2001 graduate of Winamac High School who died as a result of an auto accident 1 week after his high school graduation. His legacy of hard work, outstanding citizenship, artistic success, and super athletic performance lives on with this award given every week to outstanding student athletes from the 8 schools in the Kankakee Valley. Today's award is brought to you by Web Printing and JT Shirt Shack in Winamac, and we'll tell you who's earned the Tyler Roth WKVI WKVI Athlete of the Week after this word from Web Printing.
Web Printing and JT Shirt Shack and signs of all kinds in Winamac is where all of your printing needs can be met. Whether it's paper, garments, or signs, Web Printing is your full-service printing solution. So if you're in need of embroidered or screen-printed garments, tickets or programs for your event, or documents for your business, Web Printing and JT Shirt Shack is the place to go. For the quickest service, best prices, and best quality, it's Web Printing and JT Shirt Shack in Winamac.
Our Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Week for this week is Kayla Schlatter, a member of the track and field team at West Central High School. Kayla broke a school record this past week. In the pole vault, she reached 8 feet, achieving a school record there at West Central. We congratulate Kayla Schlatter, our Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Week. Kayla will receive a certificate, a history of the award, and a t-shirt commemorating her achievement, and will also be a future guest on the Saturday Sports Line. She will be eligible for our Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Year award later this spring, which carries with it a plaque and a college scholarship, compliments of WKVI and the family of Tyler Roth. The Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Week is brought to you by Web Printing and JT Shirt Shack in Winamac. I'll make sure to get with Miss Schlatter this week, as that is another Saturday Sports Line down this coming week. Very busy for us on Tuesday. We will see the cross-county battle of Stark County between the North Judson-San Blue Jays at the Knox Redskins baseball field. We will be going live at 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central. Then on Thursday, we'll see the Pulaski County battle between the Winamac Lady Warriors at West Central, going live at 4:30 Eastern, 3:30 Central. And then finally finishing things off next Friday, it's the War on 35. As the Knox Lady Redskins travel to Winamac for some softball action live at 5 Eastern, 4 Central. 3 big-time rivalries on tap here on WKVI. We hope you join us. Until then, keep up to date on the sports checks. Follow us on all of our social media sites, on Instagram at WKVI Sports, on X at KVB Sports, and on Facebook at Sports to the Max for all Kankakee Valley Broadcasting sports content. You enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'm Mitch Columbi. The tradition continues.
From the Pulaski Memorial Hospital studios of Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI, you've been listening to the Saturday Sports Line with Sports Director Mitch Columbi and Sports Analyst Chris McGowan.